How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Thank you for everything.
Yes. Is she? All right. That's fine. Okay, yeah. When that your night. They want to.
I'm going to call to order the May 6, 2019 Transportation Committee meeting. Let's see, all members except for Benny Johnson are present. I know Benny is working today, was not able to make it. I apologize for being a couple minutes late today. Councilman Lambert, will you lead us in the invocation? Sure. Dempsey Lambert.
Please rise. Dear Lord, thank you for this day. Lord, please give us the wisdom and strength to move our transportation priorities. Please watch over all of our uniform officers and fires. We ask all these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we already have several green cards, but if anybody else would like to speak, you'll have 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, either red, green, or white. Turn it into the secretary, and you'll be allowed 3 minutes to speak on the appropriate item. Let me look through these real quick and make sure none of these are for public comment period number 3. Okay, thank y'all. I have nothing to add to the chairman's report right now, so we'll move on to acceptance of minutes. Item number 5, acceptance of minutes of April 8th, 2019 meeting as written.
Move to accept.
We have a motion by Councilman Dawson and a second by Councilman Todd Lambert. Any opposition, any discussion? None. So moved. Item number 6, annual update of the transportation impact fee ordinance. Mr. Jerome Fournier.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, please excuse me for sitting here, but I wanted to let you know that this is basically the annual update to our traffic impact fee program. Every year, we're required by ordinance to come before you and adjust the fees based on the engineering news record change in cost of living or cost of construction. And this year, we're happy to say that the fee actually went down ever so slightly by 0.39%. The table that you have in front of you shows the fees that are reflected in the change. So just to give you an example, on the East Bank, a single-family detached home this year was $1,855. Now we're $1,847. So it went down very slightly. In addition to the fee adjustment, we're asking that the committee recommend to full council that we add a road into the traffic impact fee program, and this would go from Highway 30 north all the way to what might be a new interchange at Cornerview and Interstate 10. All right, so this would be a major road for the parish. We're looking at hopefully a 4-lane road, a boulevard type road that would take traffic from Highway 30 up to what might be a new interchange. This project we have been discussing with DOTD for some time. They like the idea. It adds a further connection in a northerly direction to what we hope will be an interchange. We can't give you a time period on that, but it's something that we would like to get built and put into the program.
Let me just say, when we met with DOTD, for him to hold the right-of-way, if we approve this, he'll hold the right-of-way. Of course, they love it. They say it would really help move traffic, but like Jerome said, we don't know a time limit on that project for us, the interchange, I mean. But they love the idea, and he will hold the right-of-way or go into agreements with DOTD if we do this.
What we're asking for tonight is is a recommendation from the committee to full council to make these changes to the program.
Councilman Dawson.
Well, Jerome, does that have a name, or it's just a layout right now?
Right now, it's just a conceptual road. We don't have a layout for it. We don't have an approved right-of-way. But basically, what we're hoping it will be is a four-lane major road that goes from 30 to what might be an interchange, right? So,
So
and
how
the
do we,
idea
I mean,
behind
how do
this-
we delineate that on the
I have, yeah, we have a map up there. I just basically have it as a dashed line since we don't have an approved right-of-way. You
well,
can
don't
see-
we have a list also, or is
We-
this
Yes.
and
It
so
would
what do
be
we
added to
call
that
it on
list.
the list?
We'd call it the Buzzard Roost Boulevard or whatever you want to call it, but, yeah. We don't have a name or a full right-of-way for it, yeah.
Okay, do we have anything that has like a legal description of it, or it's just as shown by this drawing?
It's just shown by this drawing, right.
I mean,
So I have
I'm okay
it-
with that.
we have
Do
it shown
have
as we have it shown as the dashed line on there.
attorneys here?
Depending on the interchange, it might have to be tweaked some, but not much.
Yeah, okay. I mean, I'm in favor of it, I'm
Yeah.
just wondering how we can call it out.
And I keep hearing might have an intersection.
Well, right now,
Corner
the
view.
state has entered into a contract with a consulting firm to look at two possible interchanges. One at Highway 74 and I-10, and the other right near Cornerview and I-10, right? So right now, we don't know which one they're favoring. They might favor both of them, but it's all a matter of funding. So we're not quite sure where that's going to go yet.
So without it, this road wouldn't take place, because you need that
Well,
entrance.
with this road, they really like the corner view, but like you said, they still doing the study on it. We really need both interchanges, and they admit to that.
Has there been any discussion about Bluff Road? I mean, that is one of the most needed intersections for the northern part of the
Bluff
parish.
Road deal that, going through that subdivision you talking about?
No, a north-south,
Oh,
a north entrance ramp onto Bluff Road. There's
I
a
haven't
lot more
been-
citizens that live up there than on Highway 30.
Oh, no, I understand what you're saying. Go ahead.
Well, when I attended a meeting at DOTD for the kickoff of the study, they were looking at that two interchanges. One of their main concerns is getting industrial traffic away from the industrial plants along the river back to I-10. So Bluff Road was not a high priority for them. They're fully aware of it, and it's something that they'll be looking at. But the study that they've contracted for is to look at those two intersections, and mainly for the industrial traffic.
I mean, that's disappointing though, because we're talking about moving industrial traffic. We've got citizens that live up here and try and get in and out of the parish, and the Bluff Road interchange would help the people all along 73, all along Highland Road, East Baton Rouge, East Baton Rouge, and Northern Ascension Parish. And quite honestly, we keep saying a who is going to preserve land. Who is the who?
Well, it's the developer of the Buzzard Roost project.
Who's
right,
that?
Which is Mr. Melanson, yes.
I mean, it
We-
just seems
we've had-
awful premature to add a non-existent road to the,
Well, the idea behind it is that if we add the road in and he decides to build the road, a portion of it, the concept is that we would require him to build a four-lane road. We give him credit under the traffic impact fee program, the transportation impact fee program, for building two of those lanes. The outside lane or the interior lane would be his responsibility. But this would be a major corridor for the parish, and it's something that we would like him to build once the right-of-way gets assigned and we can get the construction going. Very likely, we would enter and hopefully come to the council for an agreement for credit impact fees.
Councilman, if I will add, it's a very important step in the process of getting this interchange, but I will say Bluff Road is in our priority one package for the transportation master plan.
but it doesn't sound like it's in the state's package.
Well, once we adopt the master transportation plan, we're gonna give that to the state, and there's some things that the state is going to, I guess, have to improve in that area we're talking about, the Bluff Road, but, right now, they're not connected. This is just a step that we feel we need to take in order to preserve this corridor and, to help with some of the congestion on the 30, in the 30 area.
Mr. Chairman.
Councilman Lambert, Dempsey Lambert.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, the only way I would support this would be that we bring it back to Highway 74. This will be the third time that they brought this back. I know this is someone different with the developer, but if we bring it back to Cornerview Road, you're bringing it back, straight back to another congested road. We need to get it back to Highway 74 where a possibility of a bridge possibly to come. And also the industry, you can get the, if something happens at one of the plants, they're gonna use this corridor, Highway 74, to get the people out anyway. So I would not wanna dump any more on Cornerview Road. It would have to go to Highway 74 to help the plants and help, school and everyone in that area.
Well, Councilman, let me just say this, okay? I think we need Dr. Calavoto here with the state to explain the whole deal. It was just dropped on us to put this on the agenda. If y'all would, if you push it to the council meeting, we'll have Dr. Calavoto there. And yeah, all your questions could be answered by him.
Councilman Dawson.
Well, I mean, right now, if we add this, did Todd?
Hey, go ahead.
If we add this right now, it doesn't allocate any funds towards that. You
No.
still have to come back to us to get funds, and so I don't
Correct,
see
so,
the issue
but if you
with
want,
adding it on
if you
right
push
now.
it to the next, we'll have him at the next meeting.
Well, is that gonna, I'd like to move forward
I mean, to
the
the council
change in the
meeting.
impact fees. So we're not tying those together. Can we unbridle those and?
I'm sure you can. One of the things that you just brought up, any kind of an agreement that we enter into for the construction or the application of credits for the impact fee program has to go to council. Anything over $150,000 has to be approved by council. So it will come to you in a package that will be subject to your approval.
Councilman Lambert.
Yeah, I don't know, I guess that was more than 4 years ago when the state come to us and said that 74 would be the next entrance. And then before Piku Lane, and actually they bumped Piku Lane ahead of us, and I've never heard of it being this way, so 74 has been on the books for quite a while.
Well-
But funding is always an issue, too.
They have commissioned the study. I haven't gotten a report back from them as to the status of that, but we can certainly report back to you. If we get Dr. Calavoto here, I'm sure that he can give you
Sure.
some updates on what the status of that is.
Appreciate it.
Go ahead, Councilman
Do we
Lambert.
need a motion to name both of them? From Highway 30 to Cornerview and Highway 74 for the impact? Or what do you need, Jerome?
It would just be a matter of placing this conceptual road into the impact fee program. Right. That's all we're trying to do.
All right.
Right.
Also, we're talking about Highway 30. What about the Ashland Road? I mean, that would help Highway 30 tremendously if we get that completed. Where do we stand on Ashland Road? The Ashland connector.
As soon as I meet with the plants on the road, I'm gonna come to y'all with the plan. I've been dealing with this for 2 years now, and when the plant manager at BASF left, everything went sideways. He was like, we were meeting with him, Mike was we were sending him stuff, and then when we were gonna make the presentation, he was gone. And so we in the process of getting them all back to the table. So as soon as we meet with them, then I'll come to y'all with the,
I mean, that's something that could certainly help Highway 30 right now if we get that done.
well, it'll also help the plants on the road, number one.
Yeah, I mean,
And
I
you know,
agree.
and the reason, I just think they need to come to the table because we work with them and this will help Highway 30, but we got a lot of other needs with our money for roads. And not saying we wouldn't put some, but I think they need to help us on it.
So
Councilman
I'll make a motion that we accept the staff recommendation for the modification of the impact fees. That would include the reduction, the 0.39% reduction. And then to add this conceptual segment of the road, with the understanding that we'll have a meeting with Dr. Calaboto between now and the time it goes to council.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. I oppose this motion. I'm going to vote on this. Not the increasing of the impact fees, but adding a mythical road to the impact fees. I'm opposed to that, so.
It's not mythical.
Well, it's certainly not there. An imaginary road. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Aye. 3-1, it passes.
Have to remember not to put that on the consent.
Correct. So moving on to item number 7, Department Report, Mike Enlow.
Good evening. Just a quick run through, the 2018 road maintenance project that we still have open. We just finished up the punch list items, so we're wrapping that contract up. We do are gonna have to increase the master contract by about, I think $9,000-ish, but that we're still under our $3 million budget. So as soon as we wrap this one up, we'll be able to start our next maintenance package, which is a 2019 maintenance package. We plan on having an NTP issued before the end of this month on the first task. So back to 2018, we will have to increase task for the last task by about, I want to say, I'm sorry, I should have had this flipped over. I think it's, a little over $12,000. And the master contract, like I said, about $9,000, and that'll balance our contract. We're still under the $3 million, but we will be able to pay the last invoices for that contract and close it out so that we can move on to the next. Like I said, the 2019 road maintenance program is about to start. We did have R.J. Daigle was the low bidder for that contract. We have our pre-construction meeting on May 20th, and I plan to have the first NTP issue that day, and they'll have a week to 2 weeks to get ready and mobilize out to the first road that we go to. The last thing I have on here is the 2019 pavement preservation contract. We do have that out to bid currently, and I'm hoping to at least have a more refined list of the subdivisions and/or just separate roads that we want to put the first work onto. So next meeting, I will have a more refined list for you all to take a look at. And in the meantime, if y'all have any suggestions or have any questions, I'll be happy to, answer what I can in between now and then. And lastly, as always, I have the DOTD project report. I've highlighted the ones that are in our parish and have active work. There are some that are in the parish where they're either just wrapping up work or just moping out to the site. I didn't highlight those because there really wasn't a whole lot to speak on. So I will give you a few minutes to take a look at those projects and just let me know if you see something that you have a question on. And other than that, that wraps up my report. I do want to also add that last month I had brought to your attention that our contract with Coastal Bridge is still open because of the claim that they have, and it's still open. We haven't resolved that, even though it's not on this report. I just did want to keep y'all aware that we're trying to have them handle it. But that's where we are. So if y'all want to take a look at the DOTD projects, I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Councilman Dawson.
I have one, Casey, on
Yes,
this, the realignment of 22 and 70.
Yes,
I mean,
sir.
they don't have a completion date on that. Why can't they don't schedule these things?
Well, I'm guessing because, let's see, it's still, the utility relocation is going on, and usually they can't project an end date until they've actually started roadway construction. So I would imagine, I'll double check for you and have that information for you next
Well,
meeting.
wouldn't they have a planned completion date, or they?
Yeah,
I would presume,
normally they
yeah.
do. They normally do. I'll have to, let's see, it's a 200 200 working day project, so I would guess, maybe the end of next year. I know that sounds like a long ways away, but considering it's working days, they, any rain days or weather days that they have don't count. So usually, maybe a year and a half, so maybe mid-2020. But I'll find out for sure what the current schedule,
Well, I mean,
completion
they
date
had
is.
they started it in July of 2018. So they,
Well, the utility relocation, I think, started in 2018. And I'm not, I don't know
Okay.
firsthand what
Okay.
utilities need to be relocated. But I'll find see what
Okay.
their current construction completion date is.
Okay.
And have that for you next meeting.
okay, great.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, Ms. Rabalais.
Thank you.
All right, good evening. We'll go into the Move Ascension update. You all have the handout in front of you. Again, it's the typical spreadsheet that we show. The right-of-way process is the one to key in on at this point. We're getting closer to getting a lot of this right-of-way completed and purchased. But that's the metric we're looking at right now. If there's any questions on that, I'll be happy to answer them. Roman numeral number 2, you can see potential construction projects let in 2019. St. Landry to Ashland Connector, Seabro Road widening, Henry Road at Highway 73 turn lanes, Bro and Germany Road roundabout, US 61 Germany Road intersection improvements, LA 73 turn lanes at Brown and Oakland. Roman numeral 3, the clearing and grubbing projects to be let in 2019. Both Roddy Road segments from just south of LA 621 to US 661. There's a typo there. Henry Road widening from LA 73 to Tillotson. LA 930 widening from Highway 42 to Causey Road. 929 at 930 roundabout. And again, that's for the clearing and grubbing projects to be let in 2019. Right-of-way acquisitions are underway on most of all the projects that were in to final plans, or 90% final plans. If you go down to utility relocations, we had one somewhat significant change to our plan with Roddy Road. After talking with the city, we initially thought we would be able to leave the water line, the main water line, in place. They've looked at the locations where we would have to move it, 2 bridge crossings, 3 bridge crossings, and a few other spots. And I think because of the age of the line, they determined it's probably going to be just as beneficial or just as cost-effective to relocate the entire line. So I think they're going to have, they're looking into their budget right now and see if they can get any grant money to put towards that. We're still moving forward with purchasing right-of-way on the southern part, closer to US 61, and we're looking at getting the clearing and grubbing project started at the just south of 621 segment, and hopefully that'll line up and we'll work our way down clearing and grubbing, and then they'll have some funding for the utilities to move there. So I won't say it's a setback right now, but it's something we have to adjust for in our plan. Yes, sir.
Councilman Lambert.
Mike, you and I talked about that, and you said it would probably be $1 million plus to reroute that water line, so is
Right.
it still in that
I think
ballpark?
I think closer to 2, to be honest. That's an estimated construction cost. And I don't know the details of leaving it in place and having to bore it under the 3 bridges, much less the other locations we were asking them to relocate. But I think the age of the line overall, it's a 16-inch line, and the age of that line, they looked at what's the benefit cost to replacing it and relocating it versus doing this and having an old line with a lot of splices in it, I suppose. So anyway, it's news to us. Last week, we met with Miss Jackie Bowman with the city, and like I said, I don't think it's gonna be a big setback, because we're still buying right away, but it's something we're gonna have to adjust for. I think we'll be okay.
Good thing.
Yes, sir. Well, with utilities, I mean, we don't own any of the utilities, so right now, we've had quite a few utility meetings for the last 2 years. We've caught them early and often. We've met with every utility provider out there, and they know the plans and they know what we're trying to accomplish. So it's about to be time to get contracts out on those utilities relocations. So we're hoping they're ready for it. Moving down to the environmental, again, this is all programmatic stuff. The environmental, all the wetland delineations are complete and submitted to the Corps. We've got 6 Corps permits in hand, and all the remaining permits are estimated to be in hand summer or fall of this year. So, like, for instance, what we did on Roddy Road, with the Church Point roundabout and the 2 segments, is we put that as one project and had our environmental consultant go to the Corps with all the estimated right-of-way to be purchased. And as you may recall, we brought to you all a mitigation plan to purchase. I think it was less than 1 total acre. It impacted just under an acre, and I think we bought maybe 1.2 to offset that. So that's how we're doing this. We figured that'd be a much more, a quicker way to do this than go and do it by each project with individual consultants. So I'll entertain any questions you all may have on any of these items.
Councilman Todd Lambert?
Yes, looking at your budget, Mike, 63 million, that's not accounting for any overages that look like we're gonna have with the water line and a few other things. Is that included in your 63 million?
We've got a 10% contingency to pretty much everything we're doing. And what it doesn't account for are the drainage impacts on each project. So for instance, there's 3 bridges on those 2 Roddy segments. It's quite a bit of drainage structures, culverts, and cross drains and stuff like that. So what I'm gonna do is back out the drainage costs on each road project, and we're gonna talk to finance to get that budget, put the drainage money put back into the program, the Move Ascension program. So that number is gonna grow, the total road cost, road project, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that has been a big concern of mine from the beginning, for is the funding, because we added quite a few more projects
Yes, sir.
onto this list as we went.
Yes, sir.
Went along, because it started off with just a handful, and now we're up to quite a few. It's fine if we can get them all done, but, I had questions whether or not we was gonna have enough funding for all that.
Right. Well, as the years progress, we can add more from the road construction fund into the budget. We've got $3 million allocated per year to overlay, as we've done the last, I guess, 5 or 6 years, maybe longer. And so what we're looking at doing is adding some of that $3 million yearly to the program to accomplish the rest of the projects. We got a lot of needs out there, I'm sure you're aware. So we could use a lot more than what's in the program budget.
Correct.
So Mike, on that water line, that's the city's responsibility.
Not necessarily.
It is, yes, sir.
The cost of that water line is on the city.
We have paid for a gas line down Joyce Severio when we, if the utilities, it might not be necessarily the city's responsibility.
Right. And there's always an option if, to move these projects along. We maybe can help out to get them funded in the beginning with a cooperative endeavor, a payback agreement of some sort. So we'll be coming to y'all with that if need be. But right now, that's all we know is they aren't going to leave it in place, and they're going to have to relocate it.
Because I think most of the utilities are paid by us to relocate.
We're
In the past, widening projects.
not all of them. We're finding about half of some of the utilities are weave in and out. Over the years, we've bought a lot of the right of way, or it's come to us by Usafric, and so some of the utilities are in there and some aren't. So
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you.
I'm just going off the past roads we widening. Yeah.
Right. I'd say
We
some of
can't
them
do
50%.
Okay, that's all I got.
But we're getting into location specific with each parcel. and identifying what's ours and what's going to be their responsibility.
Councilman Dempsey Lambert? We good, man. Councilman Bill Dawson?
I don't have anything, thank you.
I have one thing to add. I want to thank the, Mr. President and Mike Enlow and Jeff Burst on May 8th. We're having, from 6:30 to 8 o'clock at the Oak Grove Community Center, we're having a meeting of the residents along Henry Road to discuss the widening project, let them know the exact plans for it, how wide it's going to be, what portions of land are going to be needed. So I want to thank everybody involved in that. Thank you all very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. President. So hopefully everybody can attend. They've all had flyers put on their doors.
Yes.
Yeah, well, I did mine first.
Did he have any other reporting?
Mr. Enlow, do you have anything else to add?
I do not, unless you all have some questions.
Councilman
on any
Lambert.
other project.
It's on a different subject.
Yes, sir.
Mike, I talked to you about Eagles Landing at Highway 42.
Yes.
I'd like to know, parish-wide, we are coming into a lot of the final phases of these subdivisions, and the monies that were allocated for turn lane and roundabout matching funds. Can you get us a list of that?
I started to look into that with planning. I think Keystone was one of them, going back and looking through some of the agreements. All that stuff's with planning. I think Jerome left, but certainly I'll do my best to dive into that. It's a pretty tall order, but
Well,
it's for all the improvements that the improvements that were within the agreements of these developments is what I understand.
Yeah, we've had a lot of changes since a lot of these, the beginning date, so we need to make sure that the funding is allocated where it's supposed to be.
Yes, sir.
I have one other question on the Ashland Road project. I know there were some issues with the state with the turning lane that it may be necessary, and it looks like we've done the analysis on that. Do you know where we stand with the state on that?
So the state, the first year, I think we're going to see how the road operates once it's built, and we got them to agree to give us that time before we have to do any improvements. As you're all aware, the state doesn't have much money for any of these improvements or the needed improvements throughout the parish. So by us adding this to their list, it's just another one that we're either going to have to do those improvements after year one on Ashland Road, which I think is around $750,000. We've already done the drainage design. We'll cut the ditches for them, but it's just there's a lot of stuff that's stacking up for us to do for the state, and I guess that's a question that we're all going to have to address. Do we want to keep doing that in order to get our road improvements done? So, but yeah, we've been in discussions with them, and I think we've got them to agree to let us open it up for at least a year and a half to see how it operates. And if there's a left turn stacking or need for a right turn from Ashland Road, then we'll go ahead and push through a design, I suppose, for that.
Okay, very good.
Yes, sir.
Do you have anything else to add, Mr. Enlow?
I do not.
Okay, very good. Moving on to item number 8, approval to name change of Bishop Rhodes Road from Highway 621 to Josh Brown to the new name of J.D. Broussard Road. I do have some speakers on this. And let's see, we have, can you help me with that one? Oh, wait, no, never mind. It's that one. I was looking at that. Yes. So we have Mike Leeper, who does not wish to speak, but he is in support. We have Cheryl and Joe Ashe. I can't read. I'm having trouble reading that Ashe. I may be mispronouncing some of these. They are present. They are in support also. They do not wish to speak. We have Mr. Robert Burns does not wish to speak, but he is present. Glenn Burns does not wish to speak, but he is present. Tracy Burns Madare does not wish to speak, but she is present. Carnell Vessel does not wish to speak, but he is present. Letitia Vessel also does not wish to speak, but is present. Danny Madare does not wish to speak, but is present. Garrett Leeper does not wish to speak, but is present. Ronette Leeper does not wish to speak, but is present. Sid Hernandez does not wish to speak, but is present, and all of these people are in support. Judy Outlaw does not wish to speak, but is present. And Barbara Hernandez would like to speak. Thank you. We have a winner.
I really don't want to because I hate this kind of thing, but I'm just going to read because it makes me really nervous, if that's okay.
Absolutely.
Can we just, everybody from Bishop Woods Road that's in support of changing the name of our road? We live on Bishop Woods Road off of Highway 621. I grew up in the same house that I live in now. Our neighbors take care of their homes and yards, and our road looks nice, and it's a safe area. We feel that in the perception of the public, we are being unfairly associated with the other Bishop Woods Road off of Duplessis Road and the whole neighborhood there that is named Bishop Woods Subdivision. It's embarrassing for us to say we live on Bishop Woods Road. When we give our addresses, we get funny looks. Or people may just say, "You live on Bishop Woods Road? Are you planning to move?" Most of us have been refused pizza delivery because they are afraid to send their drivers after dark. One mother told me that her young son's friends are not allowed to come to their house and play. Another homeowner told me that when she gave a personal check, the cashier looked at the address and told her, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you poor thing." We are mostly homeowners, but a few of us have well-maintained rental property. It's difficult to get desirable tenants to come and even look because they know the name Bishop Woods and they rule it out immediately. I'm sure if we ever wanted to sell our property, the same thing would be true. We know our property values are affected. After the recent shootings in the Bishop Woods subdivision, many of us got phone calls. "Are you okay? Are you going to move now?" Or "What happened?" Like I would know. We don't understand why our road was ever named Bishop Woods. Many years ago, when I lived there as a child, it was a dead-end road with no name. Then the parish put a bridge to connect it to Josh Brown Road. So if you drive all the way down to the end of our road, Bishop Woods, our Bishop Woods, you have to make a hard left, go over that bridge, onto Josh Brown Road, and then travel a quarter of a mile to a crossroads, take a right, and then you're on the other Bishop Woods Road. And that one goes out to Duplessis Road. So the two roads named Bishop Woods don't touch in any way, and they don't even intersect. We are requesting your consideration of a name change for our section of the road up to Josh Brown Road. We would like to change it from Bishop Woods to J.D. Broussard Road. As a community, we simply want to have an identity that is separate from the Bishop Woods that has had the bad reputation as a high crime area. And we thank you and hope that you'll consider that for us. Appreciate everything you can do.
Thank you, did a great job.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman?
Councilman Lambert.
Yes, I got a call from Ms. Barber, and as y'all can look in front of y'all, y'all have a signed petition from almost everybody down the road that's wanting it changed. And I did speak with legal on it, and Ms. Barber is aware that they will be responsible for getting their addresses changed individually, you know, once it gets changed over to J.D. Broussard, so, and she agreed on that. So that's one thing legal said, that's the only issue that they had, that they would have to take care of their own addressing changes. And I think y'all said y'all was for that. So I'm in favor of moving it to J.D. Broussard
Yeah,
up
and-
to Josh Brown Road.
Yeah, I think this is great. And just so the rest of the area, the rest of the parish knows it's not familiar with this area, J.D. Broussard
It's right
really is an
across.
extension. It's right across the street from 621, so it would be an extension, which really makes a lot of sense. You don't want to cross a highway and change names. So I applaud y'all for taking this action.
So I'll make that motion that we move to the full council.
We have a motion by Councilman Todd Lambert
So-
and 2 seconds. And we'll make that a third. No opposition. Any other discussion?
No discussion.
Yes.
I know they'll take care of the 911 issue when they do that with the address
With the address
change.
and stuff,
Yeah,
yeah.
just.
Once they change the address.
For
it'll be done.
911 purposes.
Yes. Okay. No objection? So moved. Thank you all very much. Great job. Moving on to item number 9, approval to add intersection improvement project named LA 934 at Roddy Road Roundabout into the Move a Section program and to move forward with all pre-construction activities associated with the project. We do have speakers on this topic, Mr. Enlow, so I'm going to let them go first. We have Corbett Burkajay. Bursajay is present, excuse me, and does not wish to speak and is not in support. Jim Blazak does not wish to speak, is present, and is not in support. Brenda Blazak is present, does not wish to speak, and is not in support. Let's see. Carlos Bro does not wish to speak, is present, and is not in support. Stacy Fife, I'm not sure if you'd like to speak or not. It wasn't marked. You're welcome to. So if you'd like to speak, you can come up and have your 3 minutes. Yeah, right now. Thank you.
Okay, I don't have anything prepared. I just know that the turnaround I thought was going to be approved at another intersection and not at the corner of Black Bayou and Roddy Road. Now that this is being considered to be done, my parents live right there on the corner, and they have been there for somewhat 60 years. And they're up in age, and I just hate to see a turnaround right there. I would prefer it to stay at Church Point. And then I've been told we're supposed to have a subdivision or something maybe being planned on Roddy Road, and that's why the parish or the developers are wanting the turnaround there at Black Bayou and Roddy, in order for the traffic for the subdivision. Well, I don't want the subdivision either because of the drainage and the flooding that we've endured and so forth. But I would just like y'all to take under consideration to leave it as planned, to keep the Roddy Road widening like they had planned to do rather than a turnaround. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much. And Stephanie Bro, I'm not sure whether you'd like to speak or not. It wasn't marked. You're more than welcome to speak. No, you don't like to? Well, you do not wish to speak. You are present and you're not in support.
That's my sister.
Oh, thank you. And Beverly Bursajay, you are present and you'd like to speak, I believe?
Our mother.
We're going to keep it in the family then. Ma'am, come take your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, good evening. Well, my concern, of course, is a roundabout on the corner of Black Bayou and Roddy Road, because as she said, that is our home, and we have been there for going on 60 years. And, of course, I know about the subdivision, and I know it will bring in more and more and more traffic. We already have a good bit, and I'm just scared, I'm just worried about my home. If we would have to move, or they might bulldoze down the home or whatever, and we would love to continue living there. And as my daughter said, my daughter Stacy, I think I'm just really thinking in the same line as she is about the drainage and all of this. So if y'all would I would love to know a little bit more about what is going to happen with that corner. Because, we've just been there and getting up in age. So she kind of done my job good for me. And, okay, that was my question, and I hope it get answered in our way. Thank you.
Very good, Ms. Beverly. Great job. Thank you.
Aaron, could I?
Yes,
make a
Councilman.
comment before Mike starts? Just to give the rest of the councilmen where we at with this and why we got to this point. There's a developer that wanted to develop some property right off of Roddy. The entrance would be right there at Black Bayou Canal, which is wetlands, and it got denied at the planning commission. So he could have appealed, but the developer did not appeal this, which he met with me, and I told him I would vote against his appeal because I'm definitely in opposition of it. So in the meantime, he came up with the reason, and the main reason his subdivision got denied was because of transportation issues at that intersection. And if they would go with a roundabout, he can maybe bring his development back up to the Plan Commission in June for a revote. Well, and in order to do that, he was gonna offer some money, I think $279,000 pay up front, and the impact fees, but I'm not sure the impact fees can be used on this property, because mainly it's benefiting him. Without this turn a roundabout, he cannot build a subdivision. So you can only use impact fee money if it if it benefits the other, everybody in the neighborhood, and it's not gonna benefit. The Basages are gonna have trouble getting out in that roundabout, because they got one car. From what I see on the drawings, it's gonna be real close to the front of that house. When they back out, they're gonna be in the roundabout. The trailer park's got a pipeline down. And not only is he's gonna come up with maybe $279,000, but the parish is gonna have to come up with 1.5 million. I just heard in the budget that 63 million is for this Move Ascension Forward, and this money is gonna be put into it. We already adding 2 million for the water line, so I'm afraid we're gonna end up short, down the road. So, but, I didn't get a chance to talk to some of the other neighbors, Mr. Kernan and the people that own the trailer park, but they're gonna take a big chunk of their property also. So I'm definitely in opposition, and that's the reason in this roundabout is here, is to get this subdivision approved, I disagree with that. It's like, it got denied at the planning commission, and he didn't appeal it, and now he's coming up with another way to try to get his development passed. And we're talking 110 lots, entering right there at the Blackbriar Bridge, which, if everybody knows, we had a 4 or 5 inch rain the other day, and it already topped the canal that day. And Mr. Carlos sandbags his house probably, I don't know how many times, Mr. Carlos, several times. And if any more water comes up, he's gonna be in jeopardy. Some houses, south of him flood down Rudy Road. Off of O'Neill Road, we have some flooding that's real close, right on the line. So we have drainage issues for sure with that property, but transportation is a major issue. And I'm definitely in opposition of putting this roundabout right there. I want to let Mike talk.
If you want to make the motion.
I make a motion to deny the roundabout.
I'd like to second that motion, but I still have some questions,
Okay.
Todd.
Okay.
Councilman Dawson, you have questions?
So tell me about the, what Todd is talking about, the subdivision, and how much
Right.
who's putting up what? Can you
Yep.
tell me the financials of that?
Yep, the developer came to the administration, and I think the plat was denied based on traffic is what was cited, and I think they wanted an intersection improvement there, I suppose a roundabout. So he was willing to put up his impact fees, which are estimated at $270,000. He was going to match those, the 270 with another additional 270 to put towards that roundabout. The reason we saw the benefit of doing this now is that we already purchased right away in that area. We're going to have to purchase a little more, but what Councilman Lambert didn't divulge is a lot of the roundabout, a lot of the right-of-way that's shown on the map is encumbered right away on the pipelines and the trailer park from the state highway point of view. But again, the point was we're already going to be, we're in the area designing, buying right away. We've got a lot of the construction dollars going into that area already for the safety widening. And so we thought it'd be a beneficial use to have some private funding for one of our intersection needs in the parish. So I'm sorry, Ms. Bro, I wanted to speak to, we do have a few more intersection improvements that are coming on Roddy. So this isn't the only one, and nor is Church Point. So I just want to keep you aware of that.
This, Mike, was not
It'll keep the traffic moving. So.
This was not originally in the, so we have these other roundabouts on Roddy, and But why, why are we coming back adding this
Yep.
later? I mean, why was it not, if it was needed, why was it not there to start with?
So there's a lot of needed intersection improvements. Roddy Road, there was a stage 0, which is a study in DOTD terms, feasibility study done on the Roddy Road corridor. They identified 11 intersections for improvement for safety reasons. And they did a benefit cost for intersection improvements with turn lanes and signalization versus roundabouts. So the roundabouts, if you look at the benefit cost, it was a lot higher, a lower number, I suppose, lower ratio because of the cost of doing each one. So initially, when we scoped this out, it was turn lanes and signals for each of the state intersections. We went to DOTD to request
So
that.
this specific intersection, though, why was it not scheduled for any intersection improvements in the original?
So we went to DOTD with a permit request for the turn lanes and signalization. Every signal in the Central Parish is operated by DOTD. The parish does not operate any of them.
So like this one didn't meet the cost benefit, is that correct?
This one didn't meet the warrants. There's 2 warrants.
Oh, it didn't meet the warrant, it didn't warrant.
Average daily traffic
having-
and/or crashes. Correct.
So why would it meet it now if it didn't before?
Apparently, the developer's traffic impact study showed that this was a intersection degraded in service on each leg.
But that's
a certain
degraded
amount.
if he puts his subdivision in, is that correct?
Correct. And so the thing he was coming to us for was he's going to pay money for the impact, and that's what he felt that the traffic or impact fee program was for. Was to
Well,
put-
but really, that's not what it's for. The traffic impact fee is to improve roads throughout the parish, and that's why we have to follow this list of roads. And
Correct.
if it's a traffic impact that's done because of his development, he's supposed to take care of that individually, not through the traffic impact fees. Oh, that's how we have this set up, and that's why, now I'm wondering, are both of these roads in the traffic impact fee in that map that we approved earlier?
Yes, sir, there.
Both of them are,
Black Bayou designates the district line from 3 to 2 impact fee districts.
but I'm not talking about the fee
And Roddy Road
district,
is
I'm
on it as
talking
well.
about, is there a red line on are both of these red
Yes.
lines on our drawing?
Roddy Road and Black Bayou. Most of the impact fee program roads are state roads in the parish.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But they're not, the impact fees are not intended to offset the local effect of a development. That's not what the intent of them is. They're supposed to offset their own local impact. Let's see, I had one other. Well,
That was one of the reasons why I don't know if that impact fee can be used on that road.
yeah, okay, well, I wanted to, what would be the total cost of this? Now, he's putting up $270,000, but he has to put that up no matter what.
Correct.
The first 270, that impact fees, so he's not putting up anything extra for that.
he's
What
putting up
else is he-
He's putting up 270, which is mandated, I guess, depending on the house sizes, and he's adding another 270 to it.
So he's gonna
So it's
put that
270.
up for for this participation in this roundabout. Now, what is the total cost of the roundabout?
Total cost 1.5 to 1.6 million.
So the
Yeah,
parish would still have to put up like 1.3?
Look, we're not in the final design, so I will say there's going to be some cost savings because
Well, I
we're in the
guess, is
area.
it safe to say the parish have to put up over $1 million?
Yes.
I'd say so.
There's a pipeline there also.
The
that has to
pipeline
be
doesn't
looked
have
at.
anything to do with the $1 million, but, and the $2 million is the city's responsibility for the line
Well, what,
relocation. Water
okay.
line.
Well, let's, anyway, it's over $1
I
million.
just wanted to make those points. Yes, sir, there will be some impact. So, I guess
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Mike.
sir. It's a needed
I don't have any more
improvement.
questions, thank you.
I'll make the motion to deny.
Well, we've got a motion
We
and
have
a
a
second.
second.
Okay.
Do we have any opposition? Any further discussion? Okay, it is, the authorization is, I'm sorry, the approval is denied.
Item 10 is probably a moot point, because of the denial. I would
What is 10?
defer to
Yes.
your
Yes.
judgment on that.
Yeah, that would be a moot point.
Okay.
Oh, were you
So-
gonna add?
Excuse me?
Okay, never mind. I'm good.
Okay, so we'll move on to item number 11, 2018 asphalt overlay change order MC-02 RJ Daigle and Sons, add $9,604.07 to the master contract. Casey Rabelais, thank you.
Move it, Jim.
Move, second.
We have a motion and a second, no objections. So moved. Item number 12, 2018 asphalt overlay change order 5, balancing change order task 4, RJ Daigle and Sons, add $12,637.87 to task 4.
So move.
We got a motion and a second, a motion by
Thank
Councilman
you.
Dempsey Rabelais. Dempsey Lambert. So moved.
Move
Item
to
number
adjourn.
13, we have a motion to adjourn, no objection, so moved.